What's love got to do with it? Got to do with it. Ooh wee. No, but really, what's love got to do with it? I've been combobulating in my head this topic for a few days. My question that I've been thinking about because I've heard several stories, and like I said, usually when I make a video, is because I hear so many rings of the same tone. Does that make sense? I hear the same subject being thrown around. And one thing that I find really interesting, and I won't name names, people that love people that mistreat them. It's like, I love the way you hate me. You know, it's like people, and I don't know what part of this psychological human experience or whatever that people feel like, oh, if you don't treat me right, that makes me want to love you more. I had this happen to me where people like you mistreat people, and it's like they try to win you over. It's like, no, I don't want you, and I'm trying to make that obvious. That doesn't. I'm not trying to make it a challenge for you to come up and up and up and try to convince me otherwise. I don't know. I don't know what it is, and I see that a lot. And people in relationships in relationships where one is completely like stepping over the other one, and they've had I've heard stories where people have had good relationships, good partners, good husbands, good wives, good whatever, and this goes both ways for girls and guys, and then they completely take it for granted. And in my mind, I think, well, maybe they get bored. They get bored of somebody who does everything for them and is at their feet and is like whatever you say. And I can't understand that. I can't understand how that can get boring. Oh, what do you want to do, honey? No, I don't know. Whatever you want to do. And it's like they must get tired of that. And I remember, now, like I said, I won't name names. Somebody told me about how they cheated on someone who, it got after so many years, they intentionally mistreated them, and then they found somebody who mistreated them, and that made it exciting. And I was like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. But I guess boredom. I don't know if boredom kills the relationship or why that is. Like, I've heard another story about this one guy. He was abusive to the wife physically and cheated on her, and then he ended up leaving her and then found another lady who mistreats him, but he's completely a sweetheart and loves her and all this other stuff and does things he never did for the other wife who was kind to him, but this new girl doesn't treat him that way. He's like head over heels. I was like, some people love being treated. Like, I remember hearing that song. Like, I used to love that growing up. Eurythmics, Sweet Dreams. Some people, how does it go? Some people love to be abused. Some people love to be you. Oh my gosh, should look up the lyrics. Some people like to be abused. Some people like to do the abusing. Something like that. You know what I mean? And it's so true. It is so true. And I've seen couples relationships where I've known where one is always the abuser, one is always getting abused, and they last years. Like, and they might complain, like, "Oh, I'm getting abused, and this person mistreats me," and then I feel like, well, you're still there. And then sometimes I think, well, maybe like the song. I'm just like going on songs here. Like, costumbre no es parte del amor. Like, sometimes you get so used to somebody that you're with them, but no. That doesn't always. That's not always true. I feel like there's some type of dynamic going on where people feel like almost if you're being rejected, you feel like, oh, this person is better than me. This person is putting me down or rejecting me, so that means they must be above me. And I hear these like stories like, no, this person has no interest of you. And first of all, they always say, love yourself before you love somebody else. And clearly, you don't love yourself, or you wouldn't allow somebody to treat you like that. For me, let me not get too deep into my own personal stories. But I wouldn't, like, I see these, and I like I said, knock on wood, because I may end up one day in those shoes, you know what I mean? But I don't think so. I'm like 10 years of experience, and I haven't been in a situation where I feel you're going to mistreat me, then you can hit the road. Like, you need to get out. But some people love that. And I find it funny when it happens to me and I'm not interested, and it's like, is like the challenge. But when I am interested, and it's like they don't care. There is no. I mean, I was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna chase. I mean, how do I say this? I've said this before. Um, I pursue, but I don't chase. I ask, but I don't beg. So I feel like that has to be in a relationship. You know what I mean? It's like, for my part, maybe that's why I'm single. Don't take my advice unless you want to be single. But I'm freaking happy. I am. It's like I'm not in a bad. I think it's sad when I see people. I think it's sad when I see people in bad relationships like that. It's so destructive. I feel to the person. And I was watching that interview that Oprah did with Rihanna, and there was a part that like stupid Oprah. But she goes like, "Oh, you amaze me," when Rihanna says when the whole incident happened, how she felt protective over Chris Brown. Oh, everybody's gonna think he's a monster and he really needs help, and I feel protective over him. I was like, yeah, he is kind of a monster. Yeah, he does need help, but you shouldn't be feeling protective over him. And I was talking to my roommate about this, and my roommate is like, it's almost like the victim mentality that a lot of people that are stuck in physically and emotional abusive relationships where they feel, well, it's not his fault because he has a problem and I'm going to try to fix him. It's like, no, he needs professional help. He doesn't need your help. Like, you need to get out of there and move on and hope that he gets his help. Because you know what? His problem is not your problem. Especially when you're the puppet. I mean, even if you do feel responsible for like him hitting you for some reason that makes sense in your mind, which I feel like Rihanna was almost trying to get to that point, even though she said she felt angry and all that stuff. But when you feel protective or somebody who does that over you, it's like somebody stabbing you in your gut and you're going, oh my god, how can I help you? No! Like, you need to go to therapy, prison, and jail and do your time, but I'm going to stay as far away from you. And that, like, all comes from, like I said, and people love being in that relationship where maybe it's like the more you mistreat me, the more I want you. And it made sense when she talked about her dad, and it's like how her dad was abusive to the mom, but he was a good dad, and so like I do feel that takes some type of and to some degree it affects how you form your relationships, how you see your parents. But then again, like my parents' relationship was really really bad from my point of view, but I was affected differently than my sister was affected, and so because maybe we thought different things or we just are different people, so we take things differently. And like I said, there's some people that are afraid to run, and some people that are afraid to stay. And now I'm one of those people that are afraid to stay. You know, well, good thing that either because of pressure of her publicity or her career or whatever it was, she stood away from him. Even though she's like, he's still the love of my life, and I can't understand that. I can't understand following somebody with flaws, even if they're that major. Like, because you fell in love with a person and with flaws and all. I understand that, but I also understand like you obviously are not ready to love somebody until you fix your anger issues, whatever problems you have. Because I understand. I remember hearing about his dad also being abusive to his mom. So it was like two chaotic people that met. Like, what was that Eminem song? When a hurricane meets a tornado. That's what it was. And it's sad that nobody's gonna be perfect, but nobody should be nobody's punching bag. Nobody should be nobody's stepping rug or getting spit on. I mean, if you like it, I guess. Who am I to say, judge or whatever? So there are people that like being treated like crap. If it works for you, I guess, but not for me. You know, because for me, in my own view, my own eyes, the way I see it, that's not my type of love that I want. You know, I feel like I need my equal. I need to be respected, and any other little kinky stuff that goes on, it ain't gonna go. Like I seen couples in public, either women or men, I seen that humiliate their spouse in public, and I feel like that is so horrible. And the spouse just takes it. I was like, well, that is your relationship. You're in there for a reason. You know what I mean? You're more than free to leave whenever you want. But anyways, I don't know. It's complicated. But love yourself before you can love somebody else.